it is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. So, as we discussed in the last verse, Krishna has talked about that how by hearing about this knowledge, by hearing about this powerful message of Bhagavad Gita, we can understand everything. It was a very beautiful shloka which said, Idam te guhyatamam pravakshamyani suyave gnanam vignanam sahitam yagyatam gadgyatva mokshase subhat. So in the previous verse, it was sharing about its qualification or about this power of this knowledge and what Krishna is going to speak in this chapter. It was said there here is that idam te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave. So in Sanskrit we have this superlative degree which is mentioned here is guhyatamam. So we know in the language we know guhyam. Guhyam means it is confidential, and the guhyataram becomes the more confidential, and guhyatamam becomes the most confidential. So what Krishna is speaking here is the most confidential knowledge. He is not speaking guhyam knowledge. He is not speaking guhyataram knowledge. What he is speaking is guhyatamam knowledge. Similarly, we have something known as priyam, means dear, which is very affectionate. Then we have priyataram, which is more affectionate. And we have priyatamam, which is most affectionate. In a similar sense, Krishna is saying here, it is a guhyatamam knowledge, superlative degree. And he is not only giving this knowledge, he is also saying that it is coupled with vijnana. It is not only jnana, it is also a sense of vijnana. Vijnana means the applied knowledge, the application part of it. Because you may have the knowledge, but if you don't apply that knowledge, it does not make any sense. So Krishna is saying here, if you understand this knowledge from me, and you apply that in your day-to-day life, then you will achieve the perfection. You will the moksha se asubhat. You will be liberated from all the inauspicious things in your life. So continuing in same pitch and same idea, Krishna is giving another verse here. So here in this verse, Krishna is giving 7 characteristics of knowledge. So if somebody asks how this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is superior to any other knowledge in the world, so this is the verse which is to be quoted. If somebody asks why do we study Bhagavad Gita, or what is the power of Bhagavad Gita, or what is the relevance of Bhagavad Gita, or why do we leave aside all the literatures and study this Bhagavad Gita? If we understand this verse, we can explain how. So 7 thing what is being talked here is, we'll take up step by step. So first thing which is mentioned here is Raj Vidya. So Vidya we know is a knowledge. Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gabhyastini. Krishna says in the 5th chapter also about the power of knowledge. He says when a person becomes equipped with humility and knowledge, then he becomes the first class person. So what kind of knowledge Krishna speaks in the 5th chapter? By attaining that we become a first class person. Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gabhyastini Suni Seva Sapakacheva Pandita Samadarshina. So we have this idea of equality. Many times people fights about equality. So because we see there are somebody inferior, there are somebody superior, and superior takes advantage of inferior, and that is what has happened in our culture. That has become the caste system. The distorted varnashrama became the caste, and that's how the entire downfall of Sanatana Dharma started that point of time. So is it really a knowledge that if you gain knowledge you become proud, or you think somebody to be inferior and you don't have equality? No. The Vedic literatures does not promote inequality, and that's why we see many people says we should give up this knowledge of the Vedic literatures because we have the more developed understanding. We believe in equality, so we want to have equal rights for everybody. But in true sense of word, the person can really show equal vision. What Krishna is explaining here is that when you have the real knowledge and the humility, then a person would be able to see everybody on an equal vision, with an equal idea, in an equal platform. And that knowledge, what Krishna talked about there is a knowledge of Atma. Once we have the knowledge of Atma, that everybody's soul, that this body is only a small, means like a dress which a soul is wearing. Once we have this basic understanding, then it is said that Suni Kaiva Sapaka Chaiva Pandita Samadarshina. We would be able to see a dog eater, a man, a Brahmana, all different kind of living entity on an equal platform. That is what that verse says. So here it is said, it is not Vidya, it is Raj Vidya. So why it is called Raj Vidya? Another meaning of Vidya can be that once we gain knowledge, we gain power. It is said that knowledge is power. Why it is said that knowledge is power? Because it has a transformation ability. If you want to move from state A to state B, state A means you're stuck somewhere or you don't know where you should go. In any field, in any domain. Let's say you're doing some business or you're studying something, or let's say you're doing job, or any, for that matter, any kind of circumstances for that matter. If you have the right kind of knowledge, then you can move ahead in your life. So knowledge become power. Right? Why the knowledge become power? Because it has the ability to transform you from state A to state B, which is a desired state. Similarly, when we say this is Raj Vidya, so what this Vidya transform? Okay, other Vidyas transform me from state A to state B, which bears more success, which bears more money, which bears more fame, which bears more intelligence. Okay, that's fine, that we are getting material things. But why this is called Raj Vidya? Raj Vidya means the highest of knowledge. It means Raja in the Vidyas. We see the Raja. Raja means is only one Raja and is superior to all of them. All his citizen in the kingdom. So why this knowledge is said to be Raj Vidya? Is a king out of all the knowledge, because it is going to transform my own life. There is no better transformation can happen in persons than to have his own personal transformation. You can transform your money from 1 million to 10 million. You can transform your knowledge from X to 10x. But when you can really transform yourself, that is a true meaning of knowledge. That's why it is called as Raj Vidya. Its impact is deep within ourselves. Its impact is nowhere to be compared. When it goes within us, it just rips apart all the ignorance and bring the real shining of power, real power of soul out, and that's we can enjoy in our life. So that's the reason why it is called as Raj Vidya. Okay, it's called Raj Vidya. This knowledge is called Raj Vidya, but it is also known as Raj Guhyam. Even in the previous verse, Krishna says Guhyatamam. It is the secret of all secrets. Guhyam means the secrets, and it is called secret of all secrets. Why? So again, secret means many times what happens, if you find some secret of success, secret of earning money, secret of doing this, secret of good relationship, secret of building house, or what, so many different kind of secrets we have available in the market or in our life. Or somebody says, okay, there's a very secret thing, I am telling you very secretly, and don't share it with somebody. So again, secrets. Another secret is that if, let's say, somebody comes to your house and say, if you go to the north direction of your house and if you dig that area for 15 feet deep, then you will find a golden pot, a pot which is full of golden coins. Yeah, it's a great secret. If somebody can tell you that which part of your house having that gold mine, or that kind of this thing, it becomes secret. Recently, India found so much of gold in Odisha. It was secret at that point of time. They found it. Geologists found it. Secrets. So again, secret can really give you something which is beyond your imagination, if you can figure out some deeper aspects of things. So it is said it is not secret, it is king of all secrets. So what is the king of all secrets? What is the most important secret what is been hidden from us? The first secret is the first secret is that we are spirit soul. It is said in the Krishna himself says in 7th chapter that Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yata tamapi siddhyanam kaschin mam veti tattvataha. He says out of thousands and thousands of persons, one person will come to this understanding that I am a spirit soul and I should perform something related to spirituality. So if you have like thousands and thousands of people lined together, out of them you would find only one person who is interested in learning about his own self. In that sense, I am a spirit soul, you are a spirit soul, everybody is a spirit soul, is a very, very, very powerful secret which has been hidden from 99.99% of the population. Not everybody knows that. Because you and me very frequently talks about it, we are very familiar with this knowledge. This knowledge is not, if you go outside, just to convince one person that you are a soul, will take all your energy out. They don't believe you are a soul. All atheist is based upon that you are this body. All enjoying tendencies, all that vision of people that you should enjoy life, is rooted in that we are this body. So the secret itself is that we are spiritual in nature. That is one level of secret. The second level of secret is to dig more deep into it and to really realize that you are a spirit soul. Many people may know, but how many of them realizes you are a spirit soul? That feeling that I am inside this body, I am caged within this body. How many of us realize that? That is second level of secret. So Guhyam, Guyattamam, Guyataram and Guyatamam. So what is the most confidential secret? Okay, the secret is that I am a spirit soul. The deeper secret is how to bring myself out, how to realize myself to be spirit soul. And what is the third level of secret? The most confidential secret. And that is, what is the activity of a spirit soul? What activity does a spirit soul performs? That is the most confidential secret. So what Krishna is going to talk about in these verses, Krishna is going to talk about what activity a spirit soul does. What is the functionality of soul? What function does the soul performs? Isn't it a very powerful secret? Just not realizing I am to be spirit soul, but what function would I perform? What is my real functionality? That is what Krishna is going to speak here. The Raj Vidya, Raj Guhyam. Then the third aspect of knowledge what Krishna says here is Pavitram. Pavitra means the pure. Pavitram idam uttamam. Idam means understood, this transcendental. So this transcendental knowledge is Pavitram, the purest of knowledge. So why this is said to be the purest of knowledge? Okay, we understood that the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is the king of all knowledge because it transforms us. It is most confidential because it talks about what is the functionality of soul. So why it is Pavitram? Let us understand from a different perspective. So what is the negation of pure? How do we negate? What is the antonym of purity? The antonym of purity is impurity. A person is sinful. Pure also pious, and sinful also mean dirty in that language. So why do we become impure? Or why do we commit sins? Why do we commit sin? What's the reason? The reason of committing sin is ignorance. Because we do not know what activity I am doing and what fruits it is going to bear. In that ignorance, not having a right kind of knowledge is a root cause of all the sinful activities. So knowledge, the sin, the dirty karma sticking to my soul is because of ignorance, is rooted in ignorance. So now reverse it. Sin are rooted in ignorance and the piety is rooted in knowledge. You get what I'm trying to say? So, the beautiful verse which comes in the 6th canto of Bhagavatam, first chapter, 16th shloka. Let me read out that verse for you, which talks about the purity of this knowledge, how pure this knowledge is. It says, Na tatahi agavam rajan puyeta tata tapa adibihi yata krishnarpita pranas tat purusha niveshaya. It says, My dear king, if a sinful person engages in the service of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and thus learn how to dedicate his life onto the lotus feet of Krishna, he can be completely purified. Simply by learning how we can surrender to Krishna, how we can act on the platform of as a spirit soul, can purify us. Further it says, one cannot be purified merely. So it also says that how we cannot be purified. Okay, we understood that purity comes by knowledge. So we should also understand some myth around purity. We think the purity will come from performing austerities, performing penances, practicing brahmacharya, and by other method. It is said one cannot be purified merely by undergoing austerities, penances, brahmacharya, and other method of atonement that I have previously described. So the only way, there is a reason for that. What's the reason? Why by gaining this knowledge I will not act sinfully? The reason is ultimately the motivation I have is of happiness, the pleasure, the bliss of the life. You may understand that performing some kind of activity is sinful, but that does not stop you searching for happiness. That does not stop you searching for pleasure. That does not stop you searching for bliss. If you are not seeking happiness from the higher sources, no matter how much hard you try, we cannot leave the happiness coming from the lower things. That Krishna already explained in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 57th sloka. Vishaya vinivartante niraharsadeina rasovarjam rasopasya param drisva nivartate. Simply by experiencing the higher taste, we can give up the lower taste. So now, although the activity may seem to be sinful, but it is giving you some food of happiness. It is giving some excitement. It is giving some sort of pleasure. Right? So unless I experience the higher pleasure, I cannot give up the lower pleasure. It means unless I experience the higher happiness, I cannot give up the sinful activity which become the cause of lower happiness. So when we experience this knowledge, when we gain this knowledge, when we act on this knowledge, automatically we give up those lower tendencies and we become higher and higher in our consciousness. That is the reason it is pavitram. It is not sinful, right? Okay, then the fourth thing what Krishna talks about here is prataksha avavam dharmayam. Prataksha vagamam. So we have this idea, prataksha praman. Prataksha praman means something which is visible, which you can show me. Pratyaksh. Pratyaksh means something which is seeable, which is visible. So it is said, Pratakshavagamam. This knowledge can be experienced. It is not that all of us we are talking in air. The moment we start practicing this knowledge, that very moment it becomes very appealing to us, or we can feel that knowledge. We can have this knowledge. We can see how it is going within me, how it is transforming my life in real time. It is not that is a post-dated check. Okay, after 15, 30, 50, 35, 100 years you will gain it. When for an example, somebody is very hungry. So when somebody is very hungry, he has not eaten food from last, let's say, 5 days, and then suddenly he comes to some temple where there was some feasting going on of Janmashtami, and he get like 7-course meal. Halwa, rice, puri and chole and paneer and all the items. And he just eats it to his to his neck. So happy would he feel. So does he has to justify to somebody whether you have eaten food or not? Will he have to prove to anybody else, oh, I have really eaten food? No, he don't have to. He does not have to provide any certification of eat that food is been eaten by him. Why? Because he's feeling that energy. He's feeling that strength. He's feeling satisfied. So three things happens when we eat food. We become satisfied, our hunger get mitigated, and we get strength. So similarly, when we gain this knowledge, for an example, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, immediately we feel that experience, that shift in energy. We can experience it with our own awareness. It's a maybe you can take it as a task that you chant 4 rounds consecutively without moving, just keep hearing that chanting. You would see sudden shift in energy. No matter how dull you would be feeling, no matter what is your present status is, it does not matter at all. It's the most powerful words which just touches the soul and it just enlighten us from within. So the another characteristic, it is pratyakshavagamam. You can gain that taste immediately. That is the fourth characteristic. The fifth characteristics about this knowledge which is given is dharmyam. Dharmyam means it is a culmination of all the religion. So many times we have this differentiation between spiritual and ritual. So what's the difference between spiritual and religiousness or ritualistic ideas? Any point anybody would like to share? The difference between spiritual and ritual. If you see the spelling spiritual, if you remove spirit from spiritual, what remains? Ritual. And if you add spirit in the ritual, it becomes spiritual. So ritual, when we get the spirit behind the ritual, that is what really makes it spiritual. And it is spiritual which touches our heart. So religiousness may touch your body, may touch your mind, may touch your intellect, but it may not touch your soul unless we bring that right kind of intention, right kind of attitude, right kind of that feelings toward that activity. That is spiritual. So, and the highest of spirituality is to let your heart flow for the divinity, for the Krishna, for Krishna's love. When your heart can flow without any obstruction towards the Lord, there is a perfection of all the spirituality. Like it is said in Queen Kunti prayers, Gange Vodam Udanvati. So she prays, Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi Dhanam Pandishu Vishnushu. That is what she says, that please cut off all my affection toward my family members. And then she prays the next verse that Ananya Vishaya Madhupataya Skrit Gange Vodam Udanvati. Let my mind be completely pull out from all the materialistic thing and let it flow towards your lotus feet like a Ganges flows toward ocean. If any one of you would have gone to the Gangotri, especially in those Himalayan Gangotri Gomukh, you would see how fast the Ganges flows from there. As if she's rushing to meet somebody. When, let's say, some of our lover and let's say beloved, we have not meet that person for long, and they come to know that we are on the gate, and they come, how they will leave everything and just rush toward it. So same sense of urgency Mother Ganges also have, the same force as if she is going to meet somebody. And to whom is she going to meet? She is going to meet ocean. Ultimately, she go and merge into the ocean. So no matter what kind of obstruction comes, she is not bothered at all. She just flows toward that incessantly. Similarly, when our heart can flow like Ganges in a devotional mood and completely melt like a Mother Ganges and flow like a Mother Ganges with that force, with that dynamic force, that is a perfection of all spirituality. And that is what even said here is Dharmayam. is a perfection of all religion, this knowledge, because this knowledge can provide you that state that can bring you to that particular desired state of being able to just, your heart is flowing only towards Krishna. So that's what is known as dharmayam. Another sixth quality what this knowledge is talked about is susukham. Susukham means, su means especially and sukham means happily. It is very easily performed, very happily performed. Why it is happily performed? Because if we see other aspects of the yoga or other aspects of realization of a spiritual being or pure perfection, you go to Himalayas, you perform tapasya for 60,000 years, you focus on your middle of your eyebrows, you control your breath, you sit at an erect posture and you don't get disturbed. It's so difficult. If I ask you to close your eyes and sit for 5 minutes without thinking of anything else, 100% of us will fail in that. I'm guarantee that, including me. Because our mind and body is not being trained like that. Our body and mind is not eligible to do that kind of meditation because it's very difficult. So, but this knowledge is very easily performed because it does not require any prerequisite. It does not need you to be in a certain state. For an example, if a billionaire performs devotional practices and a person living in slum area performs practices, they both can experience same happiness. Because Krishna has already said that Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. You can perform devotion to me simply by offering me fruits, simply by offering me flowers, simply by offering me some leaves. So amount of happiness a person living in a poverty-stricken condition by offering a tulsi leaf on the lotus feet of Krishna, and with same devotion, even if a billionaire, although he may be very comfortably situated, I would say the person who is impoverished will be able to have more better experience because of his humility. So it does not depend on any materialistic situation. Sometime I come across many questions that why the Vedas are not meant to be read by the women's. Why? Why the women cannot understand Vedas? Actually, it is said that they cannot, but according to the Bhagavad Gita knowledge, it is all been exempted. Anybody can understand. And especially, it is said that the women have that soft nature, they can understand much more better than anybody else, that they have their kind of feelings toward Krishna, they can develop much more fastly. So, the happiness which we perform, even though we may be in any kind of situation, is beyond comparison, so it is easily performed. So the last part is, I will conclude after that. Susukam kartum avyayam. Avyayam means it will never be exhausted. For an example, I will give an example to make us clarify that. So if you come to know what you was doing in your previous lifetime, this lifetime I may be a psychiatrist. So if you come to know that last life you was a businessman, you was trading in some sort of diamonds, you was a diamond merchant. Last lifetime you may be a diamond merchant, maybe segregating diamonds, but are you doing same thing now? Can we claim, let me do it again because I was a diamond merchant earlier? No. So this lifetime activity stop today in this lifetime itself. You cannot say in the last lifetime I was a prime minister of India, so let me continue performing same work of ruling the world, ruling the country. No, you cannot. Exhausted. You gain some position, you do that kind of activity, after a tenure, after that term, it exhausts. Maximum it remains during that particular lifetime. So, but devotional service, this knowledge is inexhaustible. First reason is it continues to the next life. That Krishna already explained in the last chapter, also we discussed, 8th chapter, that how it continues lifetime after lifetime. Second reason is the activity remains same. So in this lifetime you may gain perfection in swimming. I have perfected my swimming, I am a perfect swimmer, and next lifetime you are not even able to swim, that perfection is lost. But in this case, the same activity of chanting if we perfect, it is going to be our permanent asset. Lifetime after lifetime I can use that skill. Lifetime after lifetime I can use my devotional talent. Lifetime after lifetime I can use my devotional feeling to continue my devotional life, to continue my bhakti. Isn't it so powerful that the activity of preaching, the activity of hearing, the activity of studying, the activity of discussing, it is going to be same till the time we achieve perfection in our life? Isn't it that if this is activity which I am going to be perform a lifetime after lifetime till the time I become perfected, won't we be giving the most important time to this? Isn't it? Even you can become perfect mother. You can be only in this lifetime. Next lifetime, if you are in a male body, again you will lose all your motherhood. But if you perfect your knowledge, if you perfect your devotional practices, it will continue, it will help you, and it will go forward, and it will become your eternal, permanent, greatest asset. So that is how we understand about this word avyayam. So we just discussed in brief what these 7 characteristics of this knowledge means. The Krishna is going to describe in this chapter. Rajvidya, first, Rajguhyam, secret, pure, idam uttamam prat is being perceivable easily, perfection of religion, easily performed and inexhaustible. So these are the 7 things which we learned from this translation. I request all of you to please read this purport of 9 chapter 2nd verse. I'll be sharing this link. We couldn't cover the purport. So we'll conclude here. If anybody have any doubts, any questions, maybe we can discuss more about it.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share.